It's Week 5 of the National Football League, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Cards and the reigning Super Bowl champs, and it's coming up next on Madden NFL 22.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up with the Arizona Cardinals. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Washington team as they enter play here. It's been all systems go in this first month. They're off to a 4-0 start.
And it's got folks believing that this is a team that's built to go all the way. You can't win the Super Bowl in September, but they're telling everyone that they're going to be there in the end.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. From the 6. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. And they'll be let out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The first carry for the Memphis man, Antonio Gibson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Here's Gibson. Nifty move. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The numbers on the ground for Gibson a week ago, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. Nice move at the 40. Fighting through, and he's got space. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson with his 16th touchdown of the year. And Washington has taken a first quarter lead. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
And as a former defender, I can tell you with certainty, those are the ones that have you losing sleep at night. I would not like to be in that film room on Tuesday going over that one. Just a pretty poor effort defensively, and it leads to a big play.
No problem there on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Set to return it, here's Moore. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Cardinals now getting set to go offensively, and it'll be the dual-threat quarterback Kyler Murray leading the way.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the gun, he'll set up to throw. Throw left side, complete. That's Connor. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be really
You don't deserve
upset,
anything
right?
for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Murray now. This one complete to Christian Kirk.
I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that 1st down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And they're going to have a 3rd down. Shotgun now from Murray. To Connor on the check down. So they'll wind up losing 7 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Hunter, nice wander on the punt as he sends this one away. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. You start prorating these rushing numbers and looking ahead, he could be on pace for a 2,000-yard season. I don't want to jinx him, but what a year to this point.
But you just did.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, he can overcome that.
I'm not apologizing to you.
No.
Okay.
I like your attitude. But you're right. What's got to happen for it to actually occur? Offensive line has continued blocking the way they've been blocking. He has to stay healthy. But also, it's not just the idea that he's going to run.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, his 2nd touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone.
And that's why he's one of the best running backs in the game today, because this run combined all the elements. Started with patience, and he was just waiting for the right lane to materialize. Then once he saw it, he used his speed and escapability in tandem and turned this into a tremendous play.
The extra point up and good, and it's now 14-0. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. More now to return. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Christian Kirk and company heading back onto the field. A September sure treated him kindly. Now we flip over to October. Any reason to think that those numbers drop, or can he keep the pace up?
Well, he can keep the pace up, but it's going to get a lot more difficult now. To me, it's a lot like baseball, all right? When guys, when they first hit the league, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter, and they go through the league the first time and they're hot, they're going, wow, what a phenom. Then they get tape on them, they get scouting reports, they start to do different things. Let's see if he's going to adapt and expand his game in order to keep up that type of production.
That's a good call because he's a known entity. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Chase Young make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. Now Murray. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick, and he will bring this one back. It is a pick 6 for a Washington touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. More now on the return. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Yeah. A check on the numbers last week for Connor. 17 carries, 59 yards.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game, because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working, and they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Murray. He'll dump this one off to Connor. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9. To throw, it's Murray. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bobby McCain, and he will bring this one back. It is a pick 6 for a Washington touchdown. That pick 6 extending this lead even further. Now, boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. If things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the 2nd half.
Extra point attempt to follow here. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Set to return it. Here's Moore. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Now Kyler Murray ready to get back under center. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to just...
Murray has it knocked loose. Fumble. And does Washington have it? They do. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines and you didn't knock the ball free, your coaches are upset with you. All right, so if you're a quarterback, it starts all the way back in the youth league.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And this Washington offense continuing to add to their lead. So what a first half that he has had running the football. That now 3 touchdown runs.
And I would anticipate that when they get down in the red zone, he's going to get more chances as this game goes on. And I think that the guys blocking for him are going to ask for him to get more chances. They like the rhythm they've developed.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes this 35-0 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From way up at the 23. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. Murray fighting, lost the football. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skill showing the power, but just not much room to operate. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. They'll run with Gibson. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5.
Another good run for him. What else is new? That'll put him right at 150 yards for the game. So he's really made his presence felt in this one.
They'll run with Gibson. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's already gotten in 3 times. You can't give up a 4th one.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Antonio Gibson on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Washington offense just continuing to pour it on. Just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it is 42-0. 5 plays there on that drive, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return, Rondale Moore will bring it out. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And last last time, not only the turnover, but that...
Oh, they've intercepted Murray for the third time. Picked up by Jamin Davis. And he will bring this one back. It is a pick six for a Washington touchdown.
This game really becoming a one-sided affair. Pick six there. It's in danger of being over before halftime.
And that's going to be a major league test for both of these teams because, look, you feel like you've got this thing locked up, right? But on the other side, in the other locker room, it's going to be a test of pride now. Forget speeches, forget adjustments. What kind of pride do they have to start the second half?
Extra point hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And the lead will swell by one more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
Fields this way up at the 17. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Here we go.
Here's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? From the 31, Murray. That's complete to his running back, Conner. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now left side on this swing pass. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Going deep for Hopkins.
And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a fourth pick of the ball game.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
Yeah, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
Now, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. Touchdown, Washington! Curtis Samuel, his 5th touchdown now on the year.
And this Washington offense continuing to add to their lead. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
Point after, right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Fields this way up at the 17. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Well, that's not exactly how they drew that one up, nor practiced it, because on first down, you're trying to get some yardage to set up second and third down calls. In this case, had to drop it off to his running back. But, boy, they closed quickly on that one and stopped him behind the line of scrimmage.
Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. From the gun on third down, Murray. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down. On 1st and 10, here's Murray.
And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts,
as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll.
And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together.
Taking a shot for Samuel. He's got him in, complete. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey. And it's the Texans who are out in front. Deshaun Watson has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, we head down south to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting 49ers who are out in front. Trey Lance with a couple of touchdown passes. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And they were winners as they defeat the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Aaron Rodgers leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Cardinals, and they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half, and it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for Washington, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half, so where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down. Here's Murray. He'll get this to Connor underneath. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
It's taken to the 26. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
So here is Washington now to take over.
They're working on a 4-game winning streak, and they lead this one as well right now as they start 1st and 10.
They'll start on the ground with Gibson.
They find some open field here. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.
Antonio Gibson
with touchdown number 20 on the year.
And the Washington offense just continuing to pour it on. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs. And that one certainly fell into the latter category. And that deserves a couple exclamation points.
Now comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
The football going back over to Arizona now.
They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. Out of the gun, here's Murray. Oh, now Murray has it stripped.
And does Washington have it? They do.
Brandon, that's the 3rd time he's fumbled so far in this game. And, you know, you can make excuses for each and every one of them. But the bottom line is he's got to take care of it better. And now that he's shown a propensity.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Antonio Gibson,
his 21st touchdown of the season.
And Washington able to capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
Partner, this running back's having a heck of a day on the ground. He just keeps punching it in and rushing for touchdown after touchdown.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only 1 play to score it. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Arizona's offense back out and ready to go.
And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
On 2nd and 11 now. Murray, his throw incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions. It nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid.
And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and out will come the offense as they take over.
Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more.
I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to him. Down the numbers. There he goes.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson.
Touchdown number 22 on the season.
And this Washington offense continuing to add to their lead.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On 2nd and 11 now. Murray. Open man is Kirk, complete.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Caught left side, Hopkins. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long.
And Murray in trouble here, and down he goes. The DN, Jonathan Allen, making sure his presence is felt. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on 2nd and long. Murray. Escaping the pressure right.
And he will slide down with a good gain. Good yardage there on the scramble, and all of a sudden they're left with a 3rd and 2, much more manageable. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on first down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off. Not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down. Makes it manageable now.
They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown score to this point. Shifts by him, and he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of...
Cliff Kingsbury's saying, hey, let's take another look at that. He's going to throw down the challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After review of the play, ruling on the field stands.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
Oh, nice move. Breaks the tackle, now an alley. Past the 20. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Antonio Gibson
with touchdown number 23 here on the year.
And the Washington offense just continuing to pour it on.
So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Fields this way up at the 17. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game is. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Chase Young in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Murray with a 3rd and long. Going deep for Hopkins. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here comes the Cardinals punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Fielded at the 33. call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 42. And some space here. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson.
He takes it to the 15. A nice display of power. That gives him a nice pickup. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
Gibson here running out of the gun.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And the Cardinal defense is going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Throwing on 1st down is Murray. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
And Washington now going to use the 1st of their 3 timeouts.
It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Flush to his right. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Murray going to throw.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. This is fielded at the 27. A nice little juke.
A nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back. Another drive coming up for this Washington offense. And it's looking all the more likely that a 5th straight win is going to be in the cards. They'll try to run some time here with a 1st and 10.
That one looks like he'll throw here.
Winds up and lets it go for Samuel.
And this is taken in at the 5. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
We saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
And I'm telling you, nothing will light up a crowd more than a play like that. Here in the stadium, all eyes were on the receiver streaking downfield, and you know everyone was thinking, throw it, he's open. What a connection there for the touchdown.
And that throw, wow, 72 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by one more. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Fields this way up at the 17. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory.
And now here is another interception. William Jackson with a pick. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Slings this deep from McLaurin.
And oh, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Slings this deep from McLaurin. He rifles one that's intercepted.
Jalen Thompson picks it, and the Cardinals are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Murray, one final try. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
So it's Washington getting the victory here.
And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Washington, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they'll have another home date next week as the New York Giants come to town. Meanwhile, for Arizona, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco.